Long time no see. Remember me? Uh, I've been on vacation from my vacation. It was in Taos. It was beautiful up there. There was some great coffee places, World Perk and a big bus at the Rio Grande, a complete school bus completely painted in all the vivid colors, serving coffee. Taos has had 2 deaths and 0 in the village. So apparently they separate the village and the town as different dominions or whatever. So 2 people. All I know is that if you don't want to get COVID, the percentage of people that have it and your participation with them, the higher the number, the higher the likelihood is. So 2 is a pretty good thing. Oh, New Mexico is beautiful. Here we go. Let's start out. Look what I found. Da, 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 da. It's a huge cup. I couldn't resist. It was $1.99 at my favorite store. I call it Goodies, but it's Goodwill. Let me see, I'll read on the L cup. Amazing, beautiful, considerate, devoted, enthusiastic, flexible, generous, honest, open, warm-hearted, fabulous, passionate, brilliant, attentive. Anyway, it's just a cup with a lot of positive words on it, and I thought it was cute. It's going with my collection. The other day I thought, I'm going to take everything and lick it. You know how a child licks something and then it's theirs? Like, yeah. But I thought, I'm not going to have bad manners like that. And then when I thought I was done indulging, I found this. Da-da-da. Diva, a distinguished singer. Whoops. There goes my perfect plan. You know what I just realized? I don't have to take out my laptop, get all set up, transfer. I can just use my iPhone. But as you can see, there are some problems with it. Let's start out with some quotes or some information very quickly. It's been a month. I've long left Taos. It's been snowing up the ski area now, but what a beautiful area, what a beautiful group of people. It just feels warm. I bought my first turquoise birthstone ring at age 56. I had 2. I was going to make a 2-for-1 deal, and then I've told myself that it's not fun to send unwanted gifts to people, so you can get your own when you figure it out. Here we go. First quote. Truth is like the sun, which rises every morning and sets every evening. It is dependable, bright, and if anyone tries to fight against it, he always gets burned. The truth does not need defending. We don't have to argue with people who do not believe in the truth. The facts remain, whether they believe them or not. I love that because I was trying to defend the truth, and it's not necessary. It's there's very easy ways to determine and distinguish the truth. The problem is lies. When you say them often enough, you say them to a child, your birthday's this day, or your dad, you can pretty much make the lie become the truth to people. Lies are like feeding a dragon, because they must be fed to keep alive. It's why Giada and Kelly need Lena to repeat over and over again about her father, Louis Prima. And Lena isn't lying. It's her own personal truth that was her only father role model. But those that have profited from Lena not knowing who her real father is, and therefore not being able to enjoy the items that her father left her, that she's inherited. That's the distinguishing point. It's that you have to use deception, that at every opportunity and crossroads, that there was an opportunity to be honest with Lena. No one chose to do that. The easy profit was just too desirable. So sorry to start out with that. Let me see. Don't you love that Drew Barrymore started a new TV show? I find that splendid. I love seeing her clips of her as a child. And I'm hoping she gets into deeper subjects because I really, really love Oprah. I mean, I mourned when she stopped because she allowed you to start searching deep within the deep wells. And if we kept on watching her, you may have figured out, Lena, who you were, who your true self was. So, it's been a wonderful day. I have a few other quotes that I shared. I cut off, and so I went outside and I cut a second part. But I wanted to tell you that the Airstream, the little auto house that you were talking about, I've been there, and it wasn't that long ago, maybe 6 months ago, because I owned an Airstream. I had gone through Yosemite Park, and I have a 1963 Mercedes. It's just lovely. And so I love taking nostalgic trips like Route 66. And so I took it through the national park. And the park was having problems. They have one campground with 100 sites, and they had a plumbing issue. And so all the other campsites on Yosemite, and they were much smaller parks, had to absorb 100 extra spots, and there was just no getting reservations. So you had to stay outside of the park and then drive in every day. So I did that for about 3 days and decided that I would come back and do it for a week when things had improved. But when I left Yosemite, there was all these Airstreams. You know, I turned around, and it was the grand opening. So the guy that owns the place has a big Labradoodle, like Wally's color, but large. And they were like, bring in your dog. They were filming and everything. Oh, it was a beautiful place. What I didn't realize is that the models that they have like 50 Airstreams. They're all the same exact model, and they're all made to be in a park. So they don't have Dometic fridges where you run them on propane. They have different, you know, like a household plumbing, but it's in the Airstream shape, and people love that. This is perfect advertising for them, and they had no idea, but my Mercedes, I love it. I was brought home from the hospital in a 1963 Mercedes-Benz. My parents told me that my father went out and bought it while waiting for us to be delivered. They didn't tell me who my real father was. So I always remember that, and when I saw one in the paper, I thought I was brought home from the hospital in one of those. My mother said there weren't seat belts, there weren't car seats, and when they rolled her out with me in her arms, she told my father to, I'm driving, you hold her. And most of the comments in the baby book, I brought it when I went to buy the car, because someone wanted it immediately, a guy that had about 12 Mercedes. And when I called, I said, oh, for me, it's nostalgia. She said, it doesn't run. I said, I don't mind. I'm going to take it to the shop. I'll restore it. But I was brought home. It's just for nostalgia. It's the way I am. And she said, I'm going to call the guy back. And I showed her the baby book, and she's like, you got it. You got it. So I had it towed, and I spent about $8,000 after I bought it, draining the tank. And I call them blue. It's beautiful. It's got a roll top sunroof. It's got all the big ivory steering wheel, all the cute little lights, and everything works on it. It's my best car ever. And so I parked it, and he said, you realize some of your trim's coming off? Well, someone must have pulled and scraped a little bit accidentally and pulled it off. And I said, oh no, but I'll get it fixed. And after I'd been done visiting and touring the park, I came out, and the maintenance man had removed it, found a screw, reinstalled it for free. They are 5-star, really nice facility. I was also going to tell you some of the glamping facilities that you were referring to that are just spectacular. I mean, the restrooms, they have golf courses on them. The restrooms are nicer than any Vegas restroom, any $1 million home restroom. In order to get into those parks, you have to have an RV that's newer than 8 years. I mean, they have to be really new. You have to call ahead of time, and they will authorize your arrival. So you can't buy a 20-year-old RV and then expect to drive up. You'll see mostly Prevos and $500,000 rigs in those facilities. So just to not be misled. And to stay there is more expensive than pulling up to a hotel. A lot of people at RV say that unless you really care about, right now with COVID and everything, caring about having your own safety environment, having your own clean sheets, it's far less expensive to stay in a hotel. So anyway, I hope the days are going by quickly. I have been watching the hurricane weather again, and I just cringe. It's impossible to know that you have a twin and not have them reside in some part of you. And so it's an unfair advantage because you have no emotional connection. You don't have to like me, you can make fun of me, you never have to speak to me, but you'll always be my twin sister. But whatever you do that's like a band thing you do with your hands, I don't know what that is, but you'll always be my twin sister. So for me, because the knowledge is so definitive, it's hard. And I had two of these little turquoise rings, 2-for-1 deal, and I can't live my life pushing or hoping because it's the right thing. And I can tell you, Lena, I found the Holy Grail. You wouldn't believe it. We're multi-millionaires. And you're like, I don't want any part of that. Leave me alone. I don't want any part in swear words. Man, oh man. I saved him. If that's inside of you, Lena, you need to work on that. That's in you. No one can trigger that. That's the same way you can't, yeah, you can. People that you care about, you're sensitive to. But let's see, great TV shows, great camping places, great food. Oh, here we go. When I was going to Taos, I went through Santa Fe, another great community, larger malls, Trader Joe's. I go in there, my chicken lasagna is gone. My marinara that I usually get is gone. But they have Indian bread, which is alongside of the garlic naan and all the Indian food. They haven't had that for years, since I was in Vancouver, Washington. And he said, oh yeah, we just got that back in. I go, I know exactly what it is. I bought a couple of them. I can sometimes forget that I'm gluten-free. Oh man, it's so good if you can grab it. And if it's available, buy 10 of them and put them in your freezer, because when they're gone again, And there is evil in the world. Walmart is selling marshmallows, the large ones, stuffed with chocolate. All you have to do is toast them. Evil. How do they look like they read your mind? At least they could have rolled it in graham cracker crumbs. I mean, it could be one step better. And of course, at Trader Joe's, they had the almond butter, peanut butter cups. Oh God, they just take me right to the edge. So, it's been a nice trip. I'm trying to, of course, stay away from all of the COVID hot spots, and now all these fires all the way up the West Coast. Like, I'm not driving back into that. And apparently the smoke carries the virus, so I'm thinking the West Coast is going to really get hit. If I had a magic wand, oh look it, I have one right here. I would just wish that you, Lena, would be able to get out of New Orleans. But along with COVID, there's all of the, this weather and all of the hurricanes, and you're not working. And while you're not working, you could go to a place with lesser numbers and allow your band to kind of spread their wings and figure out what might be instead of waiting for tragedy to happen, kind of explore other options, because you can always come back, and you'll come back with a fresh vision about what you want to do. But I'm thinking 6 families with small children that have to watch the news and be afraid with their children and evacuations all the time. I wish I would never choose that location with my children. Unless you're drawn to it because of the music, or 100 years of your family living there. I guess, if I've had a lot of fun, been poked in the eye, hit in the face. I've had a good time, but that wouldn't be where I would choose to stay, especially with the music industry changing. I wish you would do a Christmas album and do it from somewhere else. Anyway, I don't know that I have anything else to share other than controlling your life. Let me think. No. I'm on the road. If you're more than welcome at any point that you realize that I'm not pulling your leg, you're more than welcome to come stay with me. I mean, I've been staying in a hotel for 5 months, and I'm not landing until we're in one of our houses. I refuse to allow others to steal what's rightfully ours while I pay for a mortgage or rental. And so I made a decision quite some time ago that the next home I live in will be a home that our father left us. It'd be lovely to have your help. Especially because now that they know people are starting to sell off other things, they've had 30 years of free reign on our assets. A lot of it has been done through your people in Florida and the judge, because it's 15 minutes. Let's see. I'm going to stop because I think it's going to cut off anyway. I might record again. But I hope you're doing well. I just thought I'd check in with you. I'm sure you were missing me. I got a call, got the message to call Detective Grimes, called him. He was out. Then he left a message. Anyway, I left him another message and let him know that he'd be better served. I'm calling the Department of Justice because there's an open case. It's a class action RICO case in the United States Supreme Court. Because our father, John Hay Whitney, was a U.S. ambassador, all ambassadors, the original jurisdiction for the lawsuit, it goes to the Supreme Court. He's a high official, and so they kind of picked on the wrong person, and anyone from any state will have to hear the case there, and anyone in Las Vegas clearly doesn't have jurisdiction over me. That's a very illegal move, and whoever asked a policeman to get involved that way has exposed them to a RICO case. And what happens is even the people that have done little things, all I got was a motorcycle. People are tattling on each other. A lady and a couple in California, Santa Cruz, told me about the 2 houses in Fisher's Island, drew a map of it. One has shake, and so they're getting nervous and they're feeling like, if you're going to rob my house from me that they never paid for, then I'm going to tell about the $2 million house over there. See, how do you like that? There's some big flaws in pulling off a crime like this. We were kidnapped and didn't know our identity. There was no way they were going to get caught. However, they allowed so many people to hop on the gravy train, the Whitney welfare wagon, that there's too many people, and they've tried to kill me, and I think my son's car accident T-boned from the passenger side with a huge Cadillac, old Cadillac. The driver, of course, hospitalized him. My son had no injuries, but they were hoping to, dismantle him in some way, so they'd have to be the caretaker of the new wave of wealth when he inherits it from me. So it's an ugly, ugly situation. And I'm glad I can brighten your day, but have a good one. I'll see you soon. Bye.